Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas of Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Tuesday, July 28th, 2020. And just before we get started, as always, we'd like to extend the invitation for anyone curious or interested in advertising on our platforms. We've got about 5 different shows to choose from, or if you'd wish to sponsor a segment, we'd love to hear from you. You can email ads@floridanationalnews.com to find out more. Now, as always, we'd like to get you guys started with the latest COVID-19 reports globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So starting globally, the World Health Organization is reporting over 16.3 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 and over 650,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, Johns Hopkins University is reporting 4.3 million confirmed cases and over 148,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the state of Florida, we're seeing, according to the Department of Health, nearly 442,000 confirmed cases, and we are over the 6,100 mark in confirmed deaths. Now, jumping into our world story today, Germany is set to test all travelers coming from COVID-19 hotspots. The health minister there, Jens Spahn, said that he would introduce mandatory testing as soon as legislation was in place to do so. Now, the move has had broad cross-party support amid the rise in Germany's own COVID-19 rates, which has been at least in part due to hundreds of thousands of Germans returning back from foreign vacations. So currently 130 regions are on Germany's list of high-risk areas. The state of Bavaria has spearheaded the mass rollout of COVID-19 test facilities in the hope of reaching as many returning vacationers as possible. Airports, railway stations, and main border crossings used by car travelers are to be fitted with mobile testing units as well. Now, so far, the German government is not considering a blanket quarantine requirement for returnees from Spain, which is slightly different from what you heard us report previously about what the UK government is doing in terms of their inclusion of Spain on their list of hotspot countries to kind of do a caution for their travelers. Now, coming here to the United States, we have some interesting numbers for you guys. COVID-19 deaths are increasing while the number of new cases are decreasing. So according to recent reports, the US deaths have risen for the third week in a row to more than 6,300 people in the last 7 days ending on July 26th, though the number of new cases have fallen by 2%, which is actually the first drop that we're seeing over the last 5 weeks. So that's a bit of silver lining there. 15 states have reported weekly increases in deaths over the last 2 consecutive weeks. In Texas, more than 1,000 people have passed away in the last week, which is roughly 20% of the state's over 5,000 plus total deaths, which is rather startling. Now, there were nearly 460,000 new COVID-19 cases reported last week. Of those cases, California, Florida, and Texas accounted for nearly 200,000. So these are the 3 hotspot states. So, hey, if you're in those 3 states, we especially caution you to be careful during the pandemic. Now, the latter 2 states, Florida and Texas, have reported fewer new infections compared to the previous week. So that's a bit of a plus for Florida and Texas. Now, cases have risen week over week in 30 states, including states in the Northeast and in the Midwest that had actually seen infections go down earlier in the year, including states like New Jersey. On the plus side, in terms of testing, COVID-19 testing has risen by 4% in the United States over the last week and set a record on Friday with nearly 930,000 tests performed on Friday. Nationally, the positivity rate is 8.1%. So 8.1% of the tests are coming back positive, which is a drop from 8.5 the prior week, but still outside of the satisfactory range for the World Health Organization. They want to see it at 5% level or lower, of course. Now, the 5% or above suggests to the World Health Organization that there are more cases in the community that have not yet been uncovered. So far, 32 states have a positivity rate above 5%, according to their analysis, which includes Arizona, which is at 23%, Mississippi, which is at 22%, and Florida and Alabama, which are both at 19%, according to the World Health Organization. And speaking of our lovely state of Florida, this is a case study in being careful, please. After a private party, at least 17 UF Health anesthesiologist residents contract COVID-19. And to be specific, the number is actually 18, according to an email from the chairman of anesthesiology at the University of Florida College of Medicine, Timothy E. Morey. He emailed the staff there to let them know that 18 positive cases of coronavirus took place at the party. Those folks are now recovering at home. Now, the cases included 14 junior students, 2 senior residents, a fellow, and an administrative employee, according to the email, noting that it was providing, quote, the latest data from yesterday. So the anesthesiology department, quote, wishes them well and a speedy return to good health. So far right now, it is unclear whether or when the employees were going to return to work with patients. Now, the UF Health's Chief Communications Officer, Melanie Friedel-Ross, said in a statement, quote, UF Health educates its faculty, staff, and students on best practices to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 on and off duty. Our goal is to minimize the spread of the illness on our campus and in our community, recognizing that it's impossible to prevent all cases given the way pandemics naturally work. Now, in his email, Morey also reminded hospital employees not to come to work sick and to wash their hands frequently, just as we've been exhorting you guys as well here at Florida National News. Now, the message did not mention the party or say anything about social gatherings. However, the CDC did warn earlier this month that events and gatherings can spread the virus, and health officials around the nation have warned specifically that private parties are fueling the pandemic, especially among younger adults. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know we yearn for connection, but please continue to be careful. As we always say, guard your hands, wash them, sanitize them, glove them, wear your masks, and practice safe social distancing. Avoid the parties if you can, okay? Please continue to stay safe. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with some more stories for you.
Big business and special interest groups have begun their attacks on Rick Singh. On social media, radio, television. They want to make sure he's no longer in office. Have someone, anyone but Rick Singh in office. And the reason is simple. They don't want to pay their fair share and expect you to pay it for them. Now, the question is, do you want to pay it for them?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown and another major U.S. story for you. Republicans have unveiled their coronavirus aid bill. You guys heard us talk about this last week when Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin made the announcement that a bill would be introduced. Senate Republicans on Monday proposed the $1 trillion coronavirus aid package. Now, this is going to pave the way for talks with Democrats on how to help Americans as the expanded unemployment benefits for millions of workers expire this week. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called the proposal a, quote, tailored and targeted plan focused on getting children back to school and employees back to work and protecting corporations from lawsuits. A lot of what you guys heard us report last week. Now, this is going to decrease the expiring supplemental unemployment benefits of $600. Now, they're slashing it from $600 to $200 in addition to state unemployment funding that American employees can receive, or former employees, I should say. Now, obviously, that slash sparked immediate opposition from both Democrats and Republicans. For the Democrats' part, they said that was too limited compared to their $3 trillion proposal that passed the House of Representatives back in May, while some Republicans called it too expensive still. So, very interesting debate going on. Senator McConnell said that the package would include direct $1,200 payments to Americans again, as well as incentives for the manufacture of personal protective equipment, or PPE as we've all come to know it, in the US rather than sourcing it from China. It also includes $190 billion for loans to help small businesses and $100 billion for loans to businesses that operate seasonally or in low-income areas. So that's something that's a little bit different this time around. Now, the combined $200 reduction plus the state unemployment funding would equate to about 70% of lost wages for American former employees in total. You guys have likely seen the news stories as the week progressed here after the announcement. So that's pretty much what it's going to be. The extra funds in the previous iteration of the bill exceeding former wages had some Republicans saying that it would incentivize people to not return to work since they were collecting more funding than they were when they had their actual paychecks. But we'll continue to keep you guys posted. For their part, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer met for nearly 2 hours with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. At the end of the meeting on Tuesday, Speaker Pelosi said, quote, "We hope that we will be able to reach an agreement. We clearly do not have shared values. Having said that, we just want to see if we can find some common ground to go forward. But we're not at that place yet," end quote. Now, jumping down here to the state of Florida, speaking of funding, Orange County Mayor sat down with protest organizers to discuss a pending budget increase for the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Now, Sheriff Mina requested a budget increase of about $15 million back on July 7th. Now, on Monday, Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings sat down with protest organizers from the Stono Institute who were kind of trying to persuade him to not give that budget increase to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. For their part, the Stono Institute is saying they want the budget, they want that funding to go towards community programming, to be able to help folks in the communities, not going towards policing. Maxwell Frost from the Stono Institute said, quote, "We want to see the money go to social services, rent assistance, violence interrupters, which end gun violence at a local level." Now, Sheriff Mina, for his part, said a majority of the funds would go towards things like union contracts. So the organizers said that the mayor listened to what they had to say, but they left the meeting without any concrete next steps. They did say the meeting was a step in the right direction, but now they would like to see some action. We'll continue to keep you guys posted on that. In the meantime, I did not forget the audience question. I did want to leave you with one before we go to this commercial break. Speaking about that new $1 trillion coronavirus stimulus bill, what are your thoughts on the slashing of the unemployment funding that will be distributed this go round? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Do you think that there should be more funding? Let us know in a comment below. We'd love to hear from you guys. But for now, we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with your business and sports stories.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin
The
clean.
kid does have a
That's
point.
My hand is clean. Yeah.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. In your business story, the majority of the U.S. House backs a new bailout for U.S. passenger airlines, or more specifically, the extension of the existing bailout. The majority of U.S. House Representatives lawmakers signed a letter made public on Monday calling for a 6-month extension of the $32 billion payroll aid program that was released back in March, keeping hundreds of thousands of aviation workers employed. Now, the lawmakers wrote, quote, "Without an extension of the payroll support program, hundreds of thousands of airline workers will be fired or furloughed on October 1st because the current program ends on September 30th. So they're pushing for an extension of that." Now, the letter, which was led by House Transportation Committee Chairman Peter DeFazio, was signed by 223 House members, including 195 House Democrats and 28 Republicans. Now, the lawmakers said that without action, the layoffs will, quote, "will eclipse those of any furloughs the industry has ever seen." Now, earlier in the year, when the bailout program was first introduced, Congress awarded $25 billion in payroll assistance to U.S. passenger airlines, along with $4 billion for cargo carriers and $3 billion for airport contractors. Now, most of the bailout funds do not have to be paid back, so that's good news for the aviation industry. And as you guys heard us talk about a few minutes ago, Senate Republicans unveiled their next coronavirus stimulus package, but in that one, there is no new airline payroll funding. So this is something that's going to be separate. So far, the majority of the U.S. House is pushing for the extension of that. We'll continue to keep you updated there. Now, jumping into a bit of sports news, jump into Major League Baseball specifically. A few Marlins games have had to be postponed due to a slight outbreak on their team. There are 2 games scheduled for Monday night and 1 today that had to be canceled due to an outbreak among the Marlins. Both of the Marlins' opening home series against the Baltimore Orioles have been called off. Now, Miami had just completed a series in Philadelphia, and 7 more players and 2 coaches with the Marlins tested positive for COVID-19. So far, the total cases have come to at least 13 in recent days on the team. So after getting the results of Monday's round of tests, the Marlins who have tested negative will go straight from Philadelphia to Baltimore by bus for their scheduled games on Wednesday and Thursday against the Orioles, who are leaving Miami on Monday night, or they left already. Now, Commissioner Rob Manfred later confirmed that Tuesday's Marlin game was off in an interview on MLB Network. So again, guys, continue to stay careful. And of course, Casey Hudson will be back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of your sports updates. All right. We're going to take another quick commercial break and be back with Jamecia Stoudemire for your entertainment 4 for 4. Stay tuned.
It takes experience to know the difference in property values. For example, this business is not the same as this business. And this house is definitely not the same as this house. And this, well, this is definitely not the same as this. And that's why it's important to have someone who understands true property appraisals to help our community grow, while making sure everyone pays their fair share.
Because experience matters. Re-elect Rick Singh for Orange County Property Appraiser.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. And it is that time. It's Tuesday, so we will bring in Jamecia Stoudemire for your entertainment 4 for 4. Coming all the way from Los Angeles. Good afternoon, Jamecia.
Afternoon, Melissa. How are you doing out there in sunny Florida?
Well, for the moment, not so sunny. We're getting some storms out here, but glad to be safe and sound. How you doing?
Well, it's still, of course, out here in LA for the entertainment 4 for 4. It is sunshiny as normal.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
Well, thank you all for tuning in to the entertainment 4 for 4 today. This is Jamecia Stoudemire. So let's get it started with number 1. The streaming services sweep the Emmy nominations. So the Emmy nominations did come out today, and you can see the stories everywhere, from AP News all the way to Variety. And here you see some of our amazing categories that have been won, from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel to Watchmen and several more. The biggest news, of course, like we were saying, the streaming platforms have taken it all. So I have some numbers for you guys right here. We have Disney Plus with 19 nominations, Apple TV with 18 nods. Quibi took over the short form nomination, so they have over 10. Netflix overall swept it all with 160 total. And it's very interesting because with the streaming platform services, actors like Eddie Murphy, who received his first Emmy nomination in 21 years, and Jennifer Aniston from Friends, she got her first Emmy nomination since 11 years. So I believe the streaming platform has definitely opened up a whole new realm for everyone to really get a chance to really get the Emmy nomination. As it was said, Watchmen, HBO's Watchmen, they have actually swept for the biggest series nomination, and they took a total of 26. So definitely there is some great things going on in the film world. I know also in the music side, Pharrell Williams, as well as 9 Inch Nails, and a few other artists are having their opportunities now on getting their first Emmy nomination as well. The Emmys will take place on September 20th on ABC, and it'll be hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. Number 2, Ellen DeGeneres show Workplace under investigation by Warner Media. Whoa, you see Helen here. We don't know what is going on. Well, here I am with Entertainment 4 for 4 to tell you a little bit more what's happening. So Warner Media is investigating, and so Warner Brother TV actually reached their parent company, which is Warner Media, to have an investigation move forward on the show, on the Ellen show. And this investigation will be done by Warner Media as well as a third-party consultation to make sure that there's no biased decisions. This is coming place after numerous allegations, reports of numerous allegations of workplace problems. So there have actually been a couple articles that have been reported, one by Variety that was released in April, and it talked about the treatment suffering of legacy workers during COVID-19, from poor communication to reduced hours, as well as them hiring non-union workers over union workers And that goes into a deep part of insurance and so forth and so on. There also was an article that was released by BuzzFeed. Now, this article that came from BuzzFeed was released mid-July, and it actually spoke on alleging racism and intimidation inside of the Ellen DeGeneres show, which the staff or the executives of the Ellen show did respond back to that BuzzFeed article, and you can find that on their website, just because they, as stated in the article, they were just saying that that is not the level of excellence that Ellen asked for or that they want on their show, and that they take full responsibility for this taking place in their workplace, and that anyone that has ever worked for the Ellen show would ever have a bad experience. So this is definitely an ongoing investigation. It definitely comes as a surprise to some, and to some it doesn't. Being in entertainment, being in this industry, you hear a lot of different things. So we hope that, they get to the bottom of it and that things are set right. So we'll have to stay tuned and definitely check out those articles on Variety and BuzzFeed if you definitely want to be in the loop and catch up what's going on. Number 3. Oh, this is a really sad one. I used to actually watch Regis Philbin. He actually passed away at the age of 88. This was announced via the family through a consultant. So it was due to natural causes that it was released in a statement. But I personally, being an 80s baby, watched the Regis and Kathy Lee show at my babysitter every morning. So watching Regis and Kathy Lee and that show was from 1985 all the way to 2000 when Kathy Lee left the show. And then Kelly Ripa was hired in place. So it became the Regis and Kelly Ripa show. And that went on from 2001 until 2011 when Regis Philbin died. Now, I know the younger generation probably is like, who the heck is Regis and Kathy Lee? But maybe you guys remember an amazing game show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Now, I definitely know a lot of people became a game show of many, and Regis was actually one of the executive producers and made tons of money with that amazing show. And it actually still continues today, of course, with different guests or different guest hosts or different hosts of the show. But it is still actually in process. But we want to send our prayers to the Philbin family. We hope that you guys are doing well. And he was definitely an amazing actor and dedicated so much of his life to us and on the TV screen. And we thank you for sharing him with us. Number 4. LA Mayor Garcetti calls on artists to spread mask awareness. So look at these beautiful pictures. These 3 pictures were created by Camilla Loins, as well as Shepherd's Ferry Studio One. So just to give you guys a little bit of tidbit, recently in Los Angeles, California, we have over 400,000 coronavirus. The numbers are for roughly 400,000 coronavirus cases. And Mayor Eric Garcetti and his team came up with an amazing project called the LA Mask Project. So what this is doing is incorporating the creative side of LA to spread the awareness of masks. So I got a few details for you. So the first artist, actually anyone in the Los Angeles County can submit to be a part of this project. And the website to do so, you want to go to corona-virus.la. So corona-virus.la. And if you go there, you can actually submit via there's email on there that LA artists can submit their artwork to have it recreated into free art. So this art is actually on that same website in a downloadable form, and just a small quality as well as a high quality for stores. I actually saw the poster at McDonald's when I was going through to get some chicken nuggets. And it was so beautiful. I actually was not aware of the project. And I just think these images, again, are beautiful. And why he's really utilizing the creative aspect is because this allows us to reach a younger demographic and really get them involved. Because wearing the mask, Eric Garcetti really stated in a comment that wearing the mask is a critical part of stopping this pandemic in Los Angeles. And he wants to put as many efforts in place to get these numbers down as soon as possible. So I just want to commend Eric Garcetti for giving artists the opportunity to showcase their work in this moment of pandemic. I mean, I definitely know this beautiful woman who has created these images you got to go check out her Facebook. She has some amazing other things. So that's a really great thing he's doing. I hope you guys take a moment and check out those downloadables. I actually posted them on my Instagram as well. But again, I just want to say thank you guys. This is Jamecia Stoudemire, and make sure you follow me at THE_ENT_MOGUL. And again, this is the Entertainment 444. Melissa, back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those stories. I love the mask one. Like that was actually, that artwork was absolutely beautiful.
When I was going, I literally was going to take a picture of it going to the drive-thru because I saw it last night. And I was like, this is such an amazing picture. So I'm honored to be able to share this story with the audience and let them know about this amazing movement. I hope other cities maybe, start incorporating their artists and doing the same.
Yeah, Orlando will probably be the next to do something like that, since Orlando does a lot of artwork in the city. But thank you so much for your report, Jamecia. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Nice seeing you guys. See you later.
Take care. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That does it for us here at the Evening News Rundown. If you haven't yet, be sure to like, follow, subscribe. You can find us at Florida National News on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. When you go over to YouTube, make sure you also click the little bell icon to get all the notifications for all of our shows. Now, the remaining show for today will be Casey Hudson with the FNN Sports Take. She will be coming on at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to tune in to get your sports fix. But that does it for me today. Have a great rest of your evening and stay safe. Take care.